We've been fighting this fight for a long time, and we will continue to do so. This right to control our own lives, our own bodies, is fundamental to women's ability to live full lives as full members of our society.
Hey everyone, it's Troy Jackson with this week's weekly update. This week I wanted to start out with something that's obviously very concerning for the entire country and obviously the state of Maine. It's the leaked documents from the Supreme Court about the decision to overturn Roe versus Wade. It's a hard issue for many of us, but what is black and white is that a person that is going through this should have the decision. Not 7 or 8 people down in DC, not state legislators, and certainly not Troy Jackson.
I remember a time before Roe v. Wade when women had to go undercover and underground and risk their lives, frankly, in order to access what was then an illegal abortion.
The United States Supreme Court deliberately chose a framework that forces the outcome of the case to rely on our nation's history and traditions, dating back to a time before women even had the right to vote. In fact, dating back to a time when women were still considered the property of their husbands or other male members of their families.
And that's what we're dealing with now, is a Supreme Court that, from all intents, purposes, what we know is that they are going to rule sometime in June to overturn Roe versus Wade. Now, regardless of your opinions on Roe versus Wade, I would think that everyone would be very upset, very outraged about how a number of the Supreme Court justices said during their confirmations that Roe versus Wade was settled law that already had precedent and that they would not be voting to overturn that. I would think that for most people, a Supreme Court justice lying to actually get confirmed to be on the Supreme Court would be enough to make people upset. But in addition to that, obviously the decision that they have come forward with, I understand is very concerning. For some people it's very scary. And it's something that is hard to believe that we're actually dealing with. That's going to put that back on the states. Here in Maine, we have done a lot to enshrine that.
We changed the law in Maine so that now if you're an advanced practice nurse practitioner licensed to do reproductive health care or a physician's assistant licensed to do reproductive health care, you can now also do abortion procedures.
But access to abortion care is just one piece of the picture when it comes to reproductive freedom. Like with so many other things in our country, income and race are major factors. We've made sure people can access abortion care from a local provider they know and trust, regardless of how much money they make. But perhaps what I'm most proud of is that we've done so much more than that to minimize the potential for disparities in healthcare related to race and class.
We made birth control more available to everybody by making sure that insurance companies could not discriminate against anybody or dictate what kind of birth control people could get in Maine.
We've also passed laws to make sure new mothers get quality postpartum care for 12 months, and children of low income and working class families have comprehensive healthcare coverage through the expansion of the CHIP program. At the same time, we're working on creating a statewide paid family and medical leave policy. These are family building policies for the state of Maine. And there are so many factors that go into a decision that people make about their health, but how much money they make and whether they can get in to see a medical provider shouldn't be among them.
You're going to see a lot in the next couple of months about this issue. And I just want you to know that, we're going to fight, like I said, like crazy to make sure that that is held in Maine. The same standard that people have had before should continue.
We defeated a lot of anti-abortion bills this year that make a difference for all Mainers, and we're going to continue to ensure that folks have access to their own reproductive choices.
And we will not stop until we are assured that this right is respected and protected across the country.
As a healthcare provider myself and a legislator, I know how important this fight is, and I'm dedicated to making sure that all Mainers have access to the healthcare and support they need in these uncertain times. And in this uncertain time for the future of abortion, I'm deeply committed to holding on to the rights that we've fought so hard to achieve.